Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Today we'll be doing a comparative review of Figuarts Vegeta. So yeah, today we're going to be taking a look at the original release of the Figuarts Vegeta and the SDCC version. This year's SDCC is coming up pretty soon, so I figured I'd finish off my SDCC related comparative reviews. This was last year's SDCC exclusive, which is the Arlian version of Vegeta, and then this is the Scouter version of Vegeta that was released a couple of years ago. They are both very cool figures, have your standard Figuarts level of detail and articulation and loads of accessories. Let's go ahead and zoom into the articulation, sculpt paint details, all those sorts of things.
Alright, starting off with our quick size comparison. Of course, here we have both of our Vegetas. Here's our standard Marvel Legends 6-inch Cosmic Armor Iron Man and 3 3/4-inch Marvel Universe Wolverine. And of course, here's our standard Figuart, which is Goku. Vegeta is a bit shorter than Goku. Honestly, he's probably not even as short as he's supposed to be, but at least he is shorter. He's perfectly in scale with normal 6-inch figures as well, and of course bigger than a 3 3/4-inch figure. Now let's get everything else out of here and just look at some Vegetas. Alright, moving on to our 360 spin. Here you can see both of our Vegetas. Obviously the main difference is just color. The original release is white and a lighter shade of blue with a yellowish brown color for the shoulder pads and the crotch flaps and the other accents on the armor. Whereas the SDCC one is lime green with a kind of orangish brown for the pads and a much darker blue for the spandex suit. His boots are also brown, whereas the normal version is just all white without any separation of color there. Other than that, all the detail is fine. The sculpting on the armor looks nice. All the muscle detail is cool. So there's no issues there. Now let's go ahead and zoom in on some head sculpts. Alright, here you can see all of Vegeta's heads and faces. The normal releases are on this side and the SDCC ones are over here. Obviously the main difference is hair color. The SDCC one has brown hair and the normal one has black hair. The skin tones are a little bit different. The SDCC one has a bit darker shading on it. Other than that, they are basically the same. You get two different heads. The only difference between the heads is there's a small notch in one of them that allows you to plug the Scouter in. Apart from that, they are exactly the same. And then you get four faces. You get an in pain face, a stern expression, a smirking expression, and a screaming expression for all of them. And those are all pretty cool, so you can use those for all your facely desires. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and look at some articulation. Articulation-wise, both figures are exactly the same, so I'll use the original release because that's the more normal one. Ball disc head, forward and back, rotation. Ball joint in the neck, so that moves around a bit. Ball joint shoulders go in and out, forward and back, rotating around inside the socket. These shoulder pads move around a little bit on ball pegs. Bicep cut, double joint elbows, wrist rotation and hinge. Ball peg in the waist, so you can move that all around. Each one of these little flaps moves around. Hips drop down, move forward and back, in and out. Double joint in knees. Ankle ball peg and toe joint, and a little ball peg in the back here for the tail. And on a side note, Vegeta is really well known for having super loose legs, so keep that in mind. Now, Vegeta does come with several extra pieces and accessories, so let's go ahead and look at those. Here are all of Vegeta's hands, arms, and tails. Obviously, the main difference between the two is color. The SDCC one's hands are orange, and the normal releases are white. The tails are almost identical, and the arms are different in about the same way that the hands are. You get two fist hands, two grasping blasting hands, two open palm blasting hands, two together palm blasting hands. You get one two-finger hand and one Scouter crushing hand. So you can use those for all your handy needs. You also get a Tamashii stand and a set of blue energy effects. These are basically the same with each release. Now that wraps it up for Vegeta and all of his accessories, so let's move on to the packaging. Packaging-wise, both of the Vegetas come in basically the same design of packaging, they're just different colors. Figuarts Vegeta on both of them. The original release Vegeta is blue, and then the SDCC version is sort of yellowish green and orange. They both all have the Tamashii and Bandai and all those sorts of things on them, and this one has the SDCC sticker on it. On the back, they both have various poses. They are different poses, though, and they both have various descriptions of things. Either way, they are both good for in or out of package display. So yeah, Vegeta.
Alright, that wraps it up for both of these Vegetas, so until next time, goodbye!
Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye.